Hey there, Real Writers. It's Chris. It's been a while. I hope you have had a good 2022 and are looking forward to the change to a new year. And you're probably looking back on this past year and successes, challenges, things that didn't work out. And I have been doing that too. And I was pulling a card today for myself with a new deck. You can see it there in the background. The Cosmic Journey Oracle by Yanik Silver. And I pulled a few cards for me, and then I thought I'm going to pull something for everybody else, because I haven't done that in a while, and if it's a really inspiring card, then I'm going to make a video. But before I share the card with you, for me in 2022, I was really feeling like the years were starting to blur together. I've mentioned in previous videos that I have a very intense, fast-paced job that takes over my life, and that I wasn't happy with that. And I've been really trying to claw my time back and my boundaries, and I've been doing a pretty good job of that this year. But I also started writing a newsletter on Substack, which I will link below. It's called The Real Writer, just like everything else that I work on. And I started it in March. I was determined to do some writing this year because I haven't really been writing, and I mean here and there, but not substantially. And I thought this would be a good way to keep that momentum, to create momentum and to keep momentum, and just maybe write a couple of times a month, and more if I could. But the blog has been actually quite surprising. I'm experiencing that wonderful thing where you get ideas out of nowhere. I'll sit down thinking I'm going to write on a certain subject, and then a completely different idea comes to me, and I follow that, and it works out really well, at least for me. And some blog posts are I'm going to just call them blog posts. Newsletters just sounds weird to me, but because I'm not sharing any updates or here are events or here's, I'm not doing any of that. That's not the style of my blog or the Substack blog, but it's just been really allowing that creative spark to come back, and that tapping into my intuition and allowing that space, the space for that spark to light, to spark in and of itself. So it's been great, and I've been doing that. And the blog is basically, bringing the writing life to life, and it's about focusing on fun and play and having more of that in my life, and especially in my writing life, without a goal, without saying a deadline, without saying, I have to write a certain amount of words every single day or anything like that, because then it just starts to become, I don't know, not always, but sometimes it can start to feel like a job. So there are three-dimensional writing adventures, meaning writing adventures in real time, in the real world. And I'm going to be starting to add my own poems and my own fiction. And there are posts on craft and various writerings and wanderings and things that happen and in the world that spark something, so that I want to share it with all of you as part of your writing, something you can try in your writing life. And right now I'm doing a random advent calendar for writers, and it's random because I'm doing it whenever I can, and every few days so far. And it will culminate, it ends on Christmas, December 25th. And then after that, a week later, there will be a very cool writing adventure on New Year's Eve to start us off in the new year. So click on the link below and join me on Substack. I'd love it if you would subscribe. There's a lot more content there than there is on this YouTube channel, but I'm hoping to get back to it more often. And so check it out and try some of the writing adventures and tell me what you think, and share what's going on with you, and we can connect there. So let's get back to this card. I pulled this card and it was so perfect that I had to make this video. And I also wanted to catch up and connect because there have been more subscribers since I last posted, and welcome. And I wanted to definitely upload here before the end of the year. So here is the card. You'll see what I mean when I turn it around. So here it is. Right into this reality. Is that not perfect? Right into this reality. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. So I took this a few ways. You have to decide, I think. You can take this different ways. So the first way is, what is the reality that you want to live in? What reality do you wish you were living in? What does your life look like in this new space? What kind of world do you want to live in? What kind of life do you want to have? Who do you want to be? Because, writing this down is kind of like magic, and it's setting an intention by writing things down and saying, this is what not just what I want, but this is what I am. This is what I have. And this is what I'm doing. Don't say anything like I want or I will. Write it in present tense. I have, I am, I do. And, keep that close and read it often. And if you want to write a journal, you don't have to do it just one time. You could write a journal as future you in this reality, right? So write the reality that you want and then start a journal for it as that person in that reality, in that world, doing those things, being that person, having whatever you want to have. Write it like, today I did this, today I did that, as if you were already there. So have a journal, keep it going, have a journal like that. So that's one thing. And then there's also the reality of whatever you're writing in general, whether it's a book of essays or poems or stories or a novel or a collection of songs, or a play or a screenplay, whatever it is. What is the reality of that world? And then the writing of it on the project. That sounds really not fun, the word project, but sounds like a lot of work, project. But the piece, whatever it is that you're working on, the writing process itself is writing. It's not just writing that reality, it's writing into that reality. It's a path, it's a journey, it's a road. You're writing into it every single day. You're entering it every single day. And writing is opening the door. Writing is the entrance point. And not just for you, but for your reader. So those are the two things that came to me. Anything is possible. And through the writing process, you can turn the possible into the real. Of course, you have to not judge yourself as you're doing this. Don't let any sort of inner critic jump in and say, oh, how are you going to do that? You don't have enough money. You don't even live there. You don't even know these people. You haven't even started writing this thing that you think is going to be an amazing whatever. Don't do that, because you're cutting yourself off. It's also being afraid of having these things and being this person and, being a success and having all the things that you want. It's sometimes easier to dream about them and for them to be off in the distance, because then they're perfect. And then when they come into being, they're not always what you expected. And that's true of anything. But that can also be wonderful. Something wonderful that you didn't expect happens, or something that's not wonderful happens, but because of it, something wonderful happens. It can be a kind of backward, forward, zigzag, up and down path. So you can't decide how you want it to be because you don't know all the amazing things that can happen, even when there are setbacks and pitfalls and all of that and obstacles. These can lead to wonderful things. So try not to let fear also get in your way and put up a wall. If it shows up, you could always stop writing whatever you're writing and then start a new page and say, what am I afraid of? And get it out of your head so that you can go back to the other thing. Think of your pen as a magic wand. Try that and see what happens. Okay, I just wanted to jump in and say hello and share a card with you and hopefully inspire you at the end of this year going into next year. And I hope you'll join me on the Substack newsletter, The Real Writer. I have a few more posts through the end of my random advent calendar for writers of writing tips. And then, like I mentioned earlier, we're ending in a really cool New Year's Eve writing adventure. And I'll post it on the evening of New Year's Eve. But I hope you'll join me. It's going to be, I thought it was really cool, and I'm excited to do it and then share it with you. So I hope you'll join me there. And I'm wishing you all happy holidays. Looking forward to a bright new 2023. Fingers crossed, everybody. Okay. Happy writing, everybody.